Greg Cooper, Kosciusko Boys and Girls Soccer. Been coaching since 2004, started out as an assistant coach, took over around 2015 for the girls as their head coach, and 2017 I became the boys head coach. So came to Kosciusko in 2004 as an economic developer, and while I was here got to meet some individuals who introduced me back to the sport, and we got to talking at a lunch, and they said that they were both paraprofessionals, head coaches of the girls and guys soccer team. And I shared a story of me playing growing up, and actually toured Costa Rica and played there for a month, learning their style of play, and just shared that story with them. And they were like, man, you really ought to come out there and help us. And I said, well, let's just look at it. And so 2004, I went and got my paraprofessional license, and I've been doing it ever since. Locked down, straight back to him. You hit a couple hard, and then you got like, okay, I'm gonna back off of this. He's good, hit it back to him. Yeah, so my style of soccer that we like to play here is just ball on and off your foot. We're looking to create space. We're looking to pass the ball, movement without the ball. But overall, we talk about it all the time at practice and even in the game. Our overall goal is to have possession of the ball. If you have, most stats show possession wins games. And if you can keep that possession, maintain it, and so we'll play back, we'll come forward, we'll play to feet, we'll play over top. We'll come out here today. We don't have a game until Thursday, so we'll come out here today. We'll get a little bit of conditioning. We'll do some, they hate them. We got gassers, which are full field sprints with push-ups and sit-ups involved in them. We have suicides, which nobody likes, but you basically are going, depending, I do a half field, so you'll go 6, which is the goalkeeper's box, the 18, which is the bigger box. I go penalty spot, and then I go half field, and they have a time frame they have to do that in. So just trying to keep them, I mean, soccer's a lot of running. I think anybody who knows it and follows it knows that most players, if you play a full game, anywhere from 6 to 10 miles that they're gonna run. We do design certain plays when we kind of look at our formation, and we talk to the guys in the back about how we want them coming up, how we want them overlapping, how we want another guy dropping back to kind of take his area, and then how they support coming back into that play. We actually stopped practice yesterday. We had a practice, and the defender was getting up, and the other defenders were yelling at the midfielder to drop or not go any further. And I actually want them to feel a little more space than they were comfortable with. And so we had to talk about that and make sure everybody understood how we want that to look. Midfielder getting up a little bit, you shifting over, communicating to your other guys shift with. Overall coaching philosophy to me is just helping them learn how to handle situations on and off the field. When we do a lot of what we do as far as coaches, we're trying to teach them about life too. So we go into that aspect as far as, we're not just teaching them trying to win the ball game, although those are nice, we want to win. We're also trying to teach them how to better handle these situations that are before them, even in life. So no matter what happens on the field, referee makes a bad call, or you don't, get the ball just where you want it, or, just how do you handle that situation?
It's a new day at MaxxSouth. We are excited to share some great news. In our continued effort to support Mississippi businesses, MaxxSouth is now offering local advertising support. Through high-quality programming, we combine traditional television and premium digital advertising, allowing your multimedia campaign to reach your targeted audience at any time on any device. Call MaxxSouth Media Sales today at 662-701-8628.
There you go. And that's exactly what you want to do. Flick it over, give them the corner. I mean, when you're wanting to help these kids become you see a lot of stats, and how many of them actually go on to play in college, and so you're trying to prepare them for life. And if they can go and play soccer at the college level, kudos, we're going to do everything we can to help them get to that level. But the overall is how do we help them make sure that they stay mindful of, hey, we're a student athlete. We talk about this a lot. Student comes first, athlete comes second. Must have the grades to be able to play, must have the grades to be able to go on to college too. And so we try to make sure we understand their objectives and what they want. We actually, you know, when they get to that junior level, even 10th grade level, I start talking to them, hey, what is it you want to do? What is it you want to do? You know, what is it you want to, do you want to go on and play soccer? Do you want to play another sport? Because we have a lot of dual, triple athletes here in Kosciusko. Being a 4A school, we share a lot of athletes. And so, you know, maybe it's something else, but how can we help you and make sure that we're ensuring that when you're graduating, you're in line to go on and do what it was you wanted to do.
All right, when I say go, sprint 5 yards out. So the first line, you're gonna plant, back pedal, and then come out. I'm gonna place the ball right there on the 10. It's a sprint, whoever receives it first, then attacks, looks to collect. Use your spacing, okay? Ready, go!
The motivation part to the game and just life in general is sometimes difficult, especially with two different teams, girls and guys, keeping both of them motivated. You have to go at them different ways. The girls, we talk a lot about belief. So the motivation right now, and has been, especially with it being the Christmas season, as I started to put out my decorations, I got out one of them and it said believe. And that's what we talked about yesterday at practice, actually. It was just believing in yourself, believing in your teammate, believing in your ability to do that which is before you. And so we talk a lot about that, and we try to keep them motivated. And that does motivate them, believing, trusting. You know, some kids, and overall it's relationship building. Some, you have to figure out which ones you can, sorry parents, can get in their face. And then others you have to kind of handle with knit gloves because they just are raised different. And so to keep some motivated, you can, they'll tell you, coach, yell at me. Tell me what you know, and then some others you have to go in and say, hey, this is what you did, really break it down, make them understand, and then put them back out there. But each one's different, and that's one thing that I've had to learn as a coach. You can't just say what you want to and say it in one way to every player and get the same out of them. You've got to figure out what motivates each player, and then you have to approach them that way. Yeah, in the off season, we take that time with the ones that remain with us. Like I said earlier, we share a lot of players. So we'll have some that go on to baseball, softball, other sports, track. But those that remain with us, we put them through weightlifting. We also continue just to run. We do a little bit of playing, stay on the ball as much as we can. Here in Kosciusko, we're just, not that we're not a good soccer area, but there are some negatives here. And so a lot of the time that they spend with us is the real structure of soccer that they get taught. And so we like to spend as much time as we can in the off season talking maybe about other formations. We spend a little bit of time in the classroom talking about formations. We try to set goals for the upcoming year. And then we just go after weightlifting and keeping ourselves in shape, getting ready for the next tryout, and then our summer program.
Has 3 lines, one's gonna be over here. Don't go past.
You know, this year, and I would say even last year, we're finally getting on both teams continuity. So what I mean by that is people aren't moving away like they used to as commonly, or they're staying with us. So there's that continuity to the team. There's also some good, some older kids. I'd say for the guys team, we have 6 seniors, but right up under there, it's roughly 10 or 11 juniors. And they have been with us since 7th grade. And so you're just having that growth. Girls, same thing, right at 7 seniors, a smaller junior class, but just players that are staying with us and the continuity's there so they understand the structure of our program and how we want it to look, and they're staying together, and it's just continuing to grow. They're finally understanding formations and where their teammates are. So that continuity has come in, that they're trusting especially in the guys program. They're trusting their outside wings, their up top players, they're trusting their defense. Just everybody seems to be buying in, and there's a good trust to them. So, and we do have some good finishers. So goals help.
Good, cross. He's going through now. Come back and go back post.
Yes, sir.
Hey, back post. Dan, come on out. Yep, bring it down and then cross. Yep. Perfect. All right, everybody see it? Make sure you got your...
You know, they've done a real good job. Yeah, at first I would said a location for us to practice, but I mean, as y'all can see behind us, they've really upped the ante, and now there's a practice field even behind this field for us to practice at. So, you know, at first it was like, where are we going to be after the season ends? Because we do share so many things. So football will take back over getting ready for spring, and so we've got to find a new place to go. And so that was one of our hardships at a time, but you know, that has been rectified. Through the growth of our program, we've gotten to the point where we have JV, we have probably, you know, 34 and 32 players. So 34 on one team, 32 on another. And that's hard to keep 32 players happy when 11 play. And then you probably have 4 subs. So you're trying to keep the others in it, happy, wanting to work. And so that's another challenge that we have sometimes, is just keeping everybody satisfied with the growth and buying into what we're selling.
It's a new day at MaxxSouth. We are excited to share some great news. In our continued effort to support Mississippi businesses, MaxxSouth is now offering local advertising support. Through high-quality programming, we combine traditional television and premium digital advertising, allowing your multimedia campaign to reach your targeted audience at any time on any device. Call MaxxSouth Media Sales today at 662-701-8628.
You know, some of our rivals, and it depends, we have rivals that the girls like to play, and then we have rivals that the guys like to play. Most of them look up to those 6A, 5A schools. I would say one of our, we were having a rival, if you will. Of course, you got to win those games sometime for it to really be a rivalry, but we like to play Pearl. The girls really get excited about that game. Guys get excited about that game. We also get excited about the Neshoba Central game. They're just right down the road, you know, 45 minutes, and that's a good game. It's sometimes won by us, sometimes won by them, and everybody seems to really get into that game. In our district, a game that I always look forward to is the West Lauderdale game. They've just become the powerhouse of 4A, especially in girls. They've won so many championships, and just they are just, to me, they're that team that if you can get over and actually beat, hey, we're somewhere. And so they're just, that's a game I look forward to. I look forward to it with the guys too, because they just always seem to play a good style of soccer too. Newton County's become a good rivalry game. So those are all ones that pop into my head. It's just fun, good games, and good competition.
Don't let him out. Don't let him out. Don't let him out. Good, good, good. Widen out, widen out. Hey, hard down, hard down.
For game day, I don't know. I get excited about game days. Game days are good. Those are good days. They bring a smile to my face. You know, that's where you take everything you learned in practice. As I tell my kids all the time, I say, it's like school. You've studied, and now it's test day. You know, this is where you take everything you've learned and then you put it into action. And I get excited for game days. I get nervous. I get all the emotions when it comes to game days, especially when I'm not sure about the other team, what they're really going to bring. You know, we do try our best to talk to other coaches and just say, hey, what do you know about this team? What do y'all faced them? You know, what do I need to be aware of, worried about? And so those things do excite me. And then just overall, how are the kids going to react today? You know, how are the players going to come out and being ready to make those hard substitutions if you have to So if one player is not up, just not having the game that you thought they were going to have, being ready for that situation. But game days, I love them. That's where they get to showcase what they've learned and impress mom and dad. So what, in my opinion, makes a good high school soccer coach is somebody who can still understand high school students, and that they are still students, and that they're kids, they're learning, being patient, being understanding in certain situations, but just being there. A lot of it's that relationship building. I said, you've got to build that relationship with them, and they've got to feel like you care. A lot of them today, especially today's kid, they want you to feel like you're kind of part of their family. And so you've got to get to know them. You've got to go to certain events that you know about that maybe has, I try to make sure I go to other sporting events that I know they're going to be at, and make sure that they see me there, and that I'm saying, hey, I'm here still supporting you in this venue too. And you just try to be there for them and let them know you're there. But you still got to hold them accountable. This day and age, just being well-rounded, being that player, I think that can see a situation, see the field around them, see past that one defender, see everything, find their teammate, just a good visionary and good problem solver. So when situations come before them, hey, this is a time where I need to pull it back, pass it back, or this is a time where I need to take them one-on-one, beat this one guy, draw the next defender to me, and dish it off. But just good problem solvers, seeing that whole field, and good visionary player.